I don't really feel like doing an intro right now. Although I do want to remind you that you need to be walking. Because it's a walking podcast. I was just thinking about what I wanted to talk about. And I want to talk about a few things today. I want to talk about the law of attraction and the universe and the way that it responds to the things that you think and the things that you do and the things that you don't do. I want to talk about, in particular, just my personal journey with success, with walking away from weed and what that meant for my success and what it means to heal your trauma and what it means to open up doors for yourself and also what it means to keep them closed. This time last year, I was living in Michigan. I was in a relationship with a amazing person, and we lived together in Detroit. I was working for marketing. I was doing marketing for some companies. I had no podcast. I had no TikTok. I had Instagram. I always felt like a little lost on Instagram. And I was getting high all day. And it's so crazy to think about it because today I am in LA. I am single. I am 7 months clean almost. I have a TikTok community of almost 40K. I have a new business. I have a program help people walk away from weed. And I'm not in so much pain anymore. But I want to talk about the in-between of how the fuck that even happened. Because I got to tell you, for a really long time, I could not open any doors. I mean, for those that are new here, I was a life coach for 10 years. And I've spoken on a bajillion stages about breaking through the mental, emotional weight in your life. But I had a secret my whole life. You know, at first it was an eating disorder and it was all these different things. But the truth is I was getting high all the time. I mean, even when I was put on this pedestal, I was always smoking. I was always unhealed. And I always wondered, why can't I make the money I want? Why can't I have the relationship that I want? Why can't I just feel okay inside? And it's because even if you want to take these steps forward in your life and you feel like you have gifts and you have talent, you have potential, if your actions are not in line with your actual thoughts, nothing really gets moving forward, right? And so I remember this time last year being like, I know that I have these gifts. I know I have talent. I know that I have these things. I'm almost 34 years old. I've never really made the money yet that I wanted. I don't feel like I have a purpose. This isn't the right relationship for me. I know Michigan's not right for me anymore. I had all these desires, but I was doing all of the opposite actions, right? I was staying stuck in a relationship. I was getting high. I wasn't taking care of myself. I had all of these limiting beliefs about myself. And so no wonder my whole life was a series of 2 steps forward, 200 steps backwards. Because I couldn't ever lead other people because I couldn't lead myself. I didn't lead myself. And so when I tell you where I was this time last year and I tell you where I am this year, it's not to make you feel like you're in a rush. It's just to show you that I had about 20 years prior to that trying to get to where I am right now. And I'm telling you right now, it really wasn't, I'm truly in my heart until I stopped getting high, that I was ever able to take any step forward in my life. And maybe for you, that's something else. Maybe that's drinking. Maybe that's a relationship you're in. Maybe it's just a job you're in or a habit or a pattern. For me, getting high kept me where I was at. Even though there were certain years that I maybe didn't smoke. But especially in the last 6-7 years, I remember thinking if I just stop getting high, my whole life will change. But I couldn't because I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe that I was able to handle the discomfort. I was always in the wrong relationship or in the wrong job or, I would go speak on a stage in front of hundreds of people telling them to take a step forward and break through the mental and emotional weight in their life. And I would get off that stage. My first thought was, it wasn't, wow, that was amazing. It was, can I go home and get high? I mean, isn't that fucked up? Like, here I am. There I was, put on a pedestal, helping people change their life. And all I wanted to do was escape mine. And that's pain. And so I had all these desires, and maybe you've had all these desires. You're like, I want to live here. I want to do this. I know that I'm this. I know that I'm that. And you're looking at all these people and you're like, how did that girl walk away from weed? How is that person making so much money? How are they in the most loving relationship of their life? And you're like, I can't do that. I get it. I get it. And listen, there are still certain things in my life that I really want that I don't have yet, but I don't believe that I can't have them anymore. Because sometimes it just takes that first fucking step. And for me, it was not getting high. Because getting high kept me from feeling my emotions, which kept me from healing my pain. And if you're living your life in pain, how are you really living your life? Like, for me, I just had so many limiting beliefs that I remember when I stopped smoking the first 2 weeks, I was like, okay, Ricky, I want you to write out everything that you believe about yourself, like every single thing that you believe. And I wrote it out, and it was like, oh, like, no wonder I get high. Fucking hate myself. Like, no wonder I've been wanting to escape my life. I've had a hard time existing in my life. You know, it was like, I don't believe that I can make a certain amount of money. I don't believe I can lead live coaching groups. I don't believe that I can move away from Michigan. I don't believe I'm ever going to feel good. I don't believe I'm ever going to stop smoking. I was already 2 weeks in to not smoking, and I still was like, I don't believe that I can do it. And when you write out your beliefs and you look at them, you're like, oh my God, I'm so mean to myself. Oh my God, this is why I eat. This is why I get high. This is why I'm staying in my relationship, because I'm so fucking scared. Just because they're beliefs, you don't have to believe them. They're just stories. And they come from so many different things. And for me, I just remember this time last year being like, is there a way out? Like, am I going to get out of this alive? Am I going to be able to end this relationship with this person that I love so deeply? Spoiler alert, he did it, so I didn't have to. Am I going to be able to stop getting high? Am I ever going to be able to find my purpose? I mean, these are the things that I felt not even like just a year ago. And by the way, I changed my life almost 7 months ago. So just to give you context, it wasn't, in March I felt this way. And then in August I started a podcast. And then in September I walked away from weed. And then in October my boyfriend broke up with me. And then I got fired from some marketing jobs in December, and then I hit it's like, it hasn't even taken a year to change my life, but it did take a decision. And I thought about it every single day last year, like, I can't live like this. And I didn't actually make a decision until September. So just to give you context, sometimes we want to change our lives and we think about it and we're not ready yet. And that's okay. But I was getting ready. I knew it. It was like, I felt, and maybe you can relate, like sometimes it just, like, it was starting to scare me. Like the fear of being where I was at was starting to scare me more than taking a step forward and being without weed or being without my ex-boyfriend. And I always, I tell people all the time now, like, for the first time in my life, I have purpose. Like, I didn't feel that way when I was life coaching. I didn't feel that way with my first company. I didn't feel that way when I was speaking on stages because I had a secret. I wasn't living authentically. I was just surviving. Everyone always used to say, like, you're so honest, Ricky. Like, I've always been a public person. I've always talked about my mom's loss and eating disorders. And I think on the outside, you'd be like, this person's so brave and honest. But like, I really wasn't. I had a fucking secret. I was smoking all the time. I was suffering. I wasn't as successful and as happy as people thought that I was. I was actually quite the opposite. And I share that now because I can. Because now I am. I am a leader, a real leader. Maybe you thought I was a leader before, and sure, maybe in a lot of ways I was, and I am, but I've led myself this time. And the universe opened doors for me because I was brave enough to open them. And so I share this because transformation is a journey, but at the same time, like, if you're not where you want to be and things feel hard and you're like, I don't know what my purpose is and I feel confused, like, it's probably because you are. Like, you really are probably doing things that are preventing you from even exploring the idea of thinking a different way. I didn't matter how much fucking therapy I did. It wouldn't even have mattered if I had left my relationship, because the first step for me was not getting high, because it was the scariest step for me. And I don't know, if you're listening to this and you don't smoke, just think about anything in your life that you use to escape. I mean, it's really painful when you take it away. And I just was been thinking about this last month, because now I've been in California for a month, and I still, I'm so proud of myself for how far I come and how far my life has evolved and how much I've evolved. And there are still things I want to work on. Like, I want to, the next things in my life, I want to work on cultivating more community. I want to be in a relationship. I want to find the person I'm going to marry. I have a certain amount of money that I want to make, a certain amount of impact that I want to create. But now I can dream and I can work towards these goals, because I finally got rid of the things stopping me from everything, which ultimately is yourself, right? You're the one stopping you from everything. But we do have certain habits and patterns that we do on a daily basis that truly send signals to the universe. Like, I remember thinking, like, I want to be successful. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then I'm like getting high all day, and the universe is like, do you actually? Is that true? Like, because everything you're doing is not anything that you really want to be doing. But when you're in pain, you're in pain. And you are so fucking scared to take a step forward that you just stay where you're at. And that's what people always say, like, how did you stop smoking so fast? I'm like, fast? Like, wait, like, that was by the way, this was the slowest process ever for me, because it took me 15 years to wake up one day and quit. I never tried to stop before. People always say, like, did you relapse before? I'm like, I never fucking tried. You can't relapse if you don't try. I didn't want to. And it makes me sad, because, you look back and you're like, damn, I wasted so much of my life, but I really didn't. You're not. Like, it's okay where you're at in your journey, but I do think you do reach a point where you're like, okay, now I'm really fucking wasting it. And that's what I felt like. I felt like I'm going to be 34 years old and I cannot stay in a relationship that's not right, because then I can't meet the person that I want, and then I'm not going to be able to have babies, and I want that. I can't keep getting high, because I'm never going to be able to find my purpose. I'm never going to be able to make the impact, never going to be able to make the money that I want. And, like, I want that. So at some point you reach a point where you're just so sick of your own shit. And I reached that point. And I'll never, ever go back. People ask me all the time, do you think you'll ever smoke again? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That shit fucked my life up. No. I still have limiting beliefs, but they're not limiting to me anymore. I look at them and I'm like, these are just beliefs that I can change. So I am where I'm at right now, and I have other things to work on. And I'm trying so hard to not be, mean to myself about them. And I'm so proud of myself for where I've come. And sometimes you feel like you've taken a step forward and you're not really moving, only to look back in 3 months or 6 months and a year to realize that you're actually in a whole different place. And I might have some old stories that have come with me along the way, but I am not where I used to be. And let that inspire you and give you hope that where you're at now is not permanent, but you do have to make a move. And stop telling the universe that you want to be all of these things, then doing the complete opposite. Like, just stop. It doesn't matter. I used to sit on my ground and be like, I'm going to be one of the most sought after mentors and speakers and creators. And I'm like getting high all day. And I'm like, I don't even really believe that yet. But I did reach a point where I was like, I don't need to believe that anymore. I just need to take the thing that I'm using out of my life so that I can understand at least why I don't believe it yet. And I can start to believe it. You just need pieces of evidence to know that you can do something. Small pieces of evidence. So it's like, if you told yourself you're going to make your bed, make your bed. Told yourself you're going to go for a walk, go for a walk. If you told yourself you're going to sign up for something, sign up for it. Told yourself you weren't going to get high today, don't get high today. Because every time you do something and you prove to yourself that you can do it, you can do a little more. So that's where I'm at, and I'm grateful to be where I'm at, but it does not come without hard work. Like, I don't care what the fucking mantras or the shit that people tell you on Instagram. Like, this shit takes work. But it gets easier. It truly does. Now I don't have to think about getting high. I haven't thought about it in months. I mean, I think about it only because I'm literally helping people walk away from weed, but I don't even crave it. But guess what? Now I have to work on putting myself out there and cultivating more community. Okay, I can do that. Now I have to make sure that I'm consistent and I'm building this business and this brand and this impact that I want. Okay, I can do that. It's like you take steps forward in your life and you still have other things that come up, but they're not the same things as they used to be. I already know that I can change my life because I did. So can you. So get the fuck out of your own way. Seriously, there's no nice way to say that. Like, you need to get out of your own way so you can get on your way. You need to forgive yourself for getting in your way. And you need to take a small step forward. And you need a piece of evidence. So you got to go make a promise to yourself and then go follow through with it just to show yourself that you can. I'm grateful to be here. But I will not take it for anything for granted. Like, I didn't just get here. I got myself here. And I will get myself to the next place. My business is not going to run unless I work my ass off. I'm not going to be internally great unless I do the work. I'm not going to get community unless I put myself out there. I'm not going to meet someone unless I'm open to it and I manifest and I give off this energy. So every time you level up in your life, you have to level up internally. Doesn't come without work. Just accept it and move forward with that. So where you're at now is not permanent. You just have to take one small step forward. And even if the old shit comes up and the old stories and the old beliefs come up, it doesn't matter. You just keep moving. Keep moving. And stop telling the universe that you want something and doing the opposite. Start telling yourself that you deserve everything that you want. And if you do believe that, you will take an action that really connects with exactly what you want. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything that you want. It's just like literal how the world works. So thanks for being here. I hope you had a good walk. I'm grateful for that you tune in every week. And if you're struggling and you want to heal internally and you want to step forward and you want to walk away from weed, a program is starting very soon. Walking Away from Weed, April 19th to 21st. DM me. Let's talk. Space is limited. I love you. Keep moving forward. Don't smoke. Be smart. Drink water. See you next week.